Hello everybody, my name's Miranda and welcome to a very special edition of Book Talk, which I have somewhat cleverly dubbed Mortal Instruments Mania. As any Mortal Instruments fan or mundane book reader knows, City of Heavenly Fire, the sixth and final book in the Mortal Instruments series, was recently released to the masses last week, and as I'm reading it, one of the biggest and most pleasantly surprising things about the book for me is how much we get to read about Emma Carstairs and see how much of a badass she already is at just 13 years old. Emma Carstairs is of course the protagonist for Cassandra Clare's next Shadowhunter series, The Dark Artifices, which will be released next year, and to celebrate Kick Butt Take No Prisoners badassery, I now present to you 5 reasons why Emma Carstairs is a complete and total Bamf. And warning, there are some slight spoilers for City of Heavenly Fire, but if you know anything about The Dark Artifices or Emma herself, you already know what the spoiler is, and I promise you it's not going to be anything about who dies or the plot or any of the main characters or anything to do with that. It's just about Emma, so I promise nothing will really be ruined for you, but I just want to give you a warning in case you're trying to keep the complete book a secret from you until you read it. So now that that's taken care of, let's get on to the countdown. Number 5 is she grew up in the Shadowhunter world. Now don't get me wrong, I love Tessa and Clary both, but they were not born and raised in the Shadowhunter world. They both kind of were hidden from it and came into it only as teenagers, so there was a lot of catching up for them to do. There were names they didn't know, people they didn't recognize, things they didn't know how to work, and who to trust and who not to trust. So it was a lot of catching up to do, which helped us as a reader, obviously, because this world was new to us too when it was with Clary. Emma herself has been raised as a Shadowhunter her entire life, meaning this is the thing she has prepared her entire life for. She's only 13 in City of Heavenly Fire, but we can already see just how dedicated she is to the cause, see how much she relishes in going to the Institute and train with her friend Julian and everyone else, and how much she's focused and dedicated to becoming a Shadowhunter. She really lives the mantra. She knows everything about this world, unlike Clary and Tessa when they first came in, meaning she probably won't be as naive in the beginning. She's not going to be as trusting. She's going to kick butt and ask questions later right from the get-go. Number 4 is her handy weapon, Cortana. As we all know, every hero needs an equally badass weapon. Harry Potter had his wand, Percy Jackson has his sword Riptide, and even Clary and Jace have their own stelays. So finding out that Emma has this sword that is so important to her that has literally been a family heirloom since the time of Jem Carstairs back in the Infernal Devices trilogy just makes it all the more important and all the more awesome, because like Clary said in City of Heavenly Fire, you know who has awesome weapons? Heroes, and that is what Emma's going to be. Contra by her side, I really don't see how she can fail. Number 3 is her relationship with Julian Blackthorn. Now, as we all know, The Dark Artifices is going to tell the story of what happens when two Parabiti fall in love, because as we know, they're not really allowed to date because of how much they love each other, that it would just be weird and awkward. Like, it's just not done. It's not really explained why it's not done, but we just know it's not done. But Emma and Julian are going to break that rule and fall in love, and it's going to have dire, dire consequences, as most Cassandra Clare books do. And in typical Cassandra Clare fashion, I'm hoping it does not have a love triangle, but it probably will, because this is a very complicated relationship already, so they're probably going to try and date new people, and that's where a third party is going to come in, and I'm just going to be like, why would the love triangle? But in City of Heavenly Fire, we got to see Emma and Julian interacting together, and they are just so cute together. They're bestest of friends. Clary said they kind of reminded her of Simon and Clary, and I see that. I'm assuming that after everything that happened, we kind of had to rescue themselves from the Institute after Julian's father was killed and Emma's parents were killed, and they're the only kids left. I feel like their relationship is going to change. It's going to grow up and mature a lot faster, and they're going to start leaning on each other a lot more. Just such a cute relationship. I already ship them, and they're like 13 years old right now, so I feel like that's really weird, but when the book comes out and they're 16, I'll feel better about it. Number 2 is Emma's personality. Cassandra Clare has always described Emma as the female version of Jace. When she wrote this series, she made Emma's character to answer the question, if Jace was a female, would people still be as okay with his kind of closed-off personality, his sarcastic comments, and kind of just cocky demeanor? Would people be okay with that if it was a girl instead? So she is basically going to be Jace's female counterpart. She's going to be as kick-butt and cocky, but also hard-edged as him, and we kind of saw in City of Heavenly Fire how this is happening, how she lost her parents, how she feels like the clave maybe isn't the best thing because they hurt Julian, even though it was just like a last resort thing, like they absolutely had to. So I feel like she's becoming kind of like Jace was when we first met him in City of Bones, which is just a sarcastic, cocky, kick-butt person who doesn't give a foe about anything but taking down the bad guys, whether they're the bad guys that she's been told to take down or the bad guys she sees as the bad guys. We even saw in City of Heavenly Fire how much Emma kind of worships Jace, and I love her personality, how Clary was really the only one that could kind of talk to her and everyone else was just like, she's a little kid, just let her go, and Clary's kind of understanding all the trauma she went through. And I think Clary even said something about how she reminded her of Jace at that moment, how she's gonna have to learn like Jace that family isn't just about blood, it's about the people who love you. So now that Emma's parents are gone, she's going to have to realize that there are still people that love her and you can have a family that's not blood but just as important and just as special. Emma just really has that warrior personality. We can tell even at 13, so I'm kind of scared to see what she's going to be like at 16. If she's this like focused on destruction and fighting the bad guys and all this at 13, what is she gonna look like when we meet her again? That's gonna be an interesting ride. Going off of her warrior personality, the number one reason why Emma Carstairs is a Bamf in my eyes is because she hit Sebastian Morgenstein in the chest with her knife. Yes, folks, she did the one thing Clary, Jace, Simon, and the rest of them haven't been able to do in the entire series, and she did it in within like 20 pages of us meeting her. She threw her knife. It was just an instinct reaction, even though she realized this was Sebastian. She realized this was the guy everyone is afraid of. They tell stories about him, literally nightmare stories, to warn the kids away from him because of all that he's done. And it was just an instinctual reaction for her. She was protecting people. She threw her knife and it hit him right in the heart. Unfortunately, it didn't do anything. Sebastian was just kind of like, ow, that's rude, you're gonna die now because that's rude, and then went after her. But again, being the badass that she is, she got away, she got into the portal, and I was just like, go, go, Emma. It was such a great moment, and I was literally floored because I was like, seriously, Clary, Jace, and Simon and all them have been trying for like 3 books to figure out how to kill this motherfucker, and this girl gets him right in the heart on her first try. And if he hadn't been immortal because of Jace, she would have killed him. Emma Carstairs at 13 would have been able to do what Jace, who Shadowhunters she idolizes, haven't been able to do for like months and months and months. So I was so proud of her, and I was like, whoa, that was like our introduction to Emma, and I was just like, this girl means business. So like I said, I'm really, really excited to see what she's going to be like when she's 16. If this is her at 13, the 3 years that we're going to have in between meeting her and seeing how she's going to be in the Dark Artifices, whoa, that's just gonna be an awesome, awesome ride. Alright, so there you have it, the 5 reasons why Emma Carstairs is a total Bamf. I'm so excited to read the Dark Artifices now. I was kind of reluctant to read it before because I felt like, how much more can Cassandra Clare do with this? Like, realistically, Emma seems so different from Clary and so different from Tessa. Don't get me wrong, I love Clary and Tessa. They are my homegirls, but Emma just seems like such a cool kick-butt girl, and I love my kick-butt girls. She kind of sounds like Rose Hathaway, but smarter. And she kind of reminds me of a mix of all 3 of the Mortal Instruments girls. If we take Isabel, Tessa, and Clary, she seems like a good blend of all of them, so I'm excited to see where the series is going to go. I'm excited to see how her relationship with Julian is going to pan out. Emma seems like such a badass. I cannot say it enough. I'm so, so excited. She's going to beat everyone up and literally give Jace Herondale a run for his money. I guarantee you now, so I'm just so, so excited. Thank you for watching, and leave your own reasons why you feel Emma Carstairs is a badass down below. You know I must love her because if her last name is Carstairs, that means she's related to Jem, and I hate Jem, so it's weird that I like one of his descendants, but that just shows you how awesome she is that I'm willing to look past her annoying ancestry that is Jem. So Emma, I will see you along with Julian again in 2015, and hopefully some other familiar characters from the other series will pop up if they're still alive. Dun dun dun. Bye, thanks for watching!